Does the European Deadzone in Destiny 2 actually make any sense? The buildings you see around, the signs, what are any of these for, and do they connect to the real world at all? Today we discuss these mysteries. So this isn't anything groundbreaking. The game's been out for a long time, and many others have great posts about this, which I'll link in the description. The European Deadzone overall is likely huge. We only get to experience a portion of it in the game, of course. Tons of Earth was destroyed during the collapse, and this is a tiny sliver of that vast land. You've likely traversed this location hundreds of times in game and had no clue where you were, or even what some of these buildings were even meant to achieve back during the Golden Age. So let's take a deeper dive. We first begin our hunt for clues in the Turtlesnake, one of the main locations in the EDZ. You'll find the staple of this environment in the church, and Devram up in his watchtower.
I'd hope a smart person would think twice before crossing you.
The outer ridges are encased in multi-story buildings. Maybe some of these were apartments, but some of them seem to be shops at one point too. One of the prominent features of this landscape is the vast lake just off of the cliff, the water reservoir plant seen in the distance. This place was once used to power the nearby town's hydroelectric capabilities. If you are interested, this is explorable in the Lake of Shadowstrike, and at one point in time, the Harbinger mission allowed us to dive into the underbelly of this location extensively. This water extends throughout the whole map basically. You can start all the way at the furthest point past Mavic Square near Hangman's Pass. From there it flows down into the dam, then into the lake near Turtlesnake, past the outskirts, Winding Cove into Firebase Hades. A lot of the times in Destiny you play in these pocket bubbles they're called, or specific spaces. Not sure about you, but sometimes I just get caught up in those spaces myself, not realizing that the whole maps connect together. You can see parts of the outskirts bridge from this area in the Turtlesnake. You can see the sludge all the way on top of the salt mines up there in the mountains. Heading on our skimmer down to the outskirts is where our connections to water extend to buildings and once again underground. This area looks more like a courtyard, locations people would gather to have maybe a festival, fair, and experience different kinds of entertainment. Most of the signage around the European Deadzone is German. And as we approach some of these buildings, you can make out some of the words. Now, I'm trying to translate this, I could be completely wrong, so let me know in the comments. Most of these in the outskirts seem to be made-up shop names, referencing medieval German names among other things. The EDZ has many connections to water though. The dam was our first indication, and there's also another one nearby. Before we head over there though, I bet you never noticed this. Just across the courtyard in this ruined building, we can find a location it seems somebody had been staying in. We can see containers labeled Fruchtmus, which in English means fruit puree. It seems this made-up company, this ABS Kastner, produced this fruit, as we can see their logo on the containers and cans, and there's a lot of them around this area. But just below this courtyard you can find the drain, a lost sector which seems to be a sewer or water treatment type area. It's overrun with fallen now, but we see similar German signage which points to an exit out of these tunnels, and also warnings to not enter a forbidden room. In the boss room we find many pipes and also train cars, which may give us clues to other aspects we'll touch on later. The outer edges of the outskirts to the winding cove and up the coast is mainly filled with nature. Beautiful tall trees, vibrant flora, and crumbling remains of a once windy road. Not much is out on this side of the EDZ besides that, but we do get some more hints when it comes to street signs. Some of these signs will guide you to nearby areas, like this one says the Trossland, which would be back that way. But others are more obscure and point to areas not in the game, but seem to be nearby in the world, nearby in Europe. One of the many signs you'll come across traveling throughout the space is one with this word, Growunden. Growunden is the largest and easternmost state of Switzerland. It's located in the Alps, the mountains, and is a sparsely populated region. There are many ski resorts around that area, and there are various languages spoken too, like Italian, Romanian, and German. So we've seen water treatment and hydroelectric plants. The sludge brings us to the salt works. Specifically labeled on the walls, you will see Salzwerk Trossland. When translated, essentially Trossland Salt Works, or Trossland Salt Plant. This is pretty much as it sounds, a place where salt is extracted, produced, or processed. The words are plastered here around the sludge, on various giant factory-looking buildings and cement walls. And to me, this does resemble an area that could have been a factory at one point. Vast-looking warehouses and interiors, some of which we can enter. If you look on the map of the European Deadzone in the director, the sludge and Trossland are really right next to each other. And what does the Trossland have at its northernmost area? The salt mines. Train cars are used for transportation, like the one seen in the drain and near the sludge. And this mine is pretty vast. It extends quite far in patrol, to spaces that aren't even used anymore. They were used back in the Red War. Now, Edge of Fate is bringing back a short activity in the salt mines, which will be fun to explore once more, but this is what currently remains. Taking the lift to the top, or in this case the fallen teleporter because the lift is broken, will bring us to a beautiful view. And on top of this cliff you'll find ski lifts. Switzerland is known for skiing, so makes sense. And you can also see beautiful mountains in the distance, the Cabal Air Base out there too. Around the EDZ, you'll also see signs that say Zerva Horn. Zerva Horn is a mountain located in the Swiss Alps, south of Vals near where other than Growunden. So all of these signs seem to point us to around the area of Switzerland and this mountain, maybe sandwiched between Italy and Germany, somewhere in the Alps. In 2017, Destiny 2's release year, Turtlesnake75 went out on a real-life journey through Europe to try and discover these locations for himself. Definitely check out that post, but he found some similarities, like a water reservoir near that mountain, which could be compared to what we see in-game. So we have language, locations similar to the real world. Switzerland is also known for having salt plants like this in real life, and some of them you can even take tours in. There is lots of concept art of the European Deadzone, but it makes me wish I can interview some of the Bungie devs when they were designing this location. The EDZ was originally supposed to be in Destiny 1, like this clip seen here. So why did they specifically pick salt mines in a giant water dam? I mean, it fits for what happens in the game, the location looks gorgeous, but it makes you wonder. But of course, Destiny is a sci-fi game, and while it's likely based on real-world locations for the base aspects of it, things like environment, building design of ruined Earth, we also have those supernatural aspects, like the giant shard of the Traveler and the dark forest. But if you're still watching to this point, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. These types of videos are fun to me, diving into development aspects, where developers took inspiration from, and where this could exist in the real world, or at least parts of it. If you don't speak any of these languages, how many times have you patrolled the destination and not even paid attention to this? You might have known the salt mines were there, but did you know how it connected to the nearby land? Kind of interesting to think about it when you go a little bit deeper. But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.